So continuing on with our work on summary statistics, what we're going to be looking at today is looking at our quartiles and the work we've been doing on quartiles, and thinking about doing a 5-number summary. So what I've written here is that once the median and the quartiles have been calculated, we're able to summarise the data set using 5 numbers. And this is a 5-number summary. And it consists of a lower extreme, which looks like a scary thing, but what it's actually talking about, it's just talking about the lowest score. And then I have a lower quartile, Q1, which we already know. We find the median, Q2, which we already know how to do. Q3, the upper quarter, we know how to do that. And then we have this other word called the upper extreme, which is just really the highest score. And that's it. That's a way of summarising our data. So if we have a look then at the very first example that I've got here, for the set of scores below, develop a 5-number summary. Now, because a 5-number summary means we've got to find quartiles, alarm bells are ringing because you all know that you have to now put the data in order. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So as you can see, what I've done is I've quickly put that data in order, and what we're going to do then is we're going to find Q2 first, the median. So we count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see my Q2 is going to be in the middle here, halfway between 36 and 46, so let's add those up and divide by 2, and what we're going to end up with is a score of 41. So that's nice and easy. Once we've done that, let's find Q1. So looking at the bottom, well, 1, 2, 1, 2. So here is my Q1. Q1 we can see is 15. And then when we look at the other one, we want to find Q3. So Q3 we can easily see in this case is 64. So to get my 5-number summary, what we need is we need the upper extreme, that's the highest score, which in this case is 85. And we want the lowest extreme, which is the bottom score, which is 12. Doesn't matter the order you put it in. Q1 is 15, Q2 is 41, and Q3 is 64. And you can double check, do I have 5 things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I do. So what I've done is I know I've done the answer correctly. Nice and simple. So if we look at my second example then, this is a cumulative frequency histogram. You can have a look, cumulative frequency, and in fact it's not a histogram, it's a polygon. It's just a straight line. So building on the work that we did yesterday. And it's saying, well, let's use this, old guy, to develop the 5-number summary. So it's just a different way of asking the same question. So if we have a look at it, what we want is the lowest score, or the lowest extreme. So I'm just going to say lowest score. What is the one that was the lowest? Well, in this case it's 10. So my upper extreme, or score, so you'll sometimes see it written as scores, in this case is 70. So I'm halfway there. The next thing you need to know is, well, you really need to find your Q2, your Q1 and your Q3. Now what we learnt before is that Q2 is the median, which is 50% of the scores. And if you can see on this side, they've actually done the scores for you. So 60 over here is obviously 100%. Now, not all the time are these scores going to be given to you. So you would need to be able to work them out. Well, 60 must be 100. So half of 60 is 30, so 30 must be 50% of your scores, and so on. But it's been done for us, so all we have to do is read off the graph. So let's read back, 50%, you go across and come back down, and it's going to be so much easier for you. But when I looked at this, I looked at the median. So let's have a look, the median, which you all know is Q2, which I think it looks like it's around about 37. We then need to find Q1. So remember Q1 is 25% of the scores, and let's have a look at the scale. They're going 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So 10, 20 is here, so 25 must be halfway. So once again, you would use your ruler. Now also the other thing, girls, is when you are doing this, if you have to read something off a graph in a test, you should draw in these lines in an exam, because that way the examiner can see what lines you were following and were you doing it correctly, because sometimes the scales aren't easy to read. So that way you can ensure that you're always going to get full marks. So when I looked at this, I kind of thought the Q1 was about 31. And the other one is Q3 that I need to do. Don't know why that disappeared. So we want the 75th percentile. So 10, so 50, 60, 70, 75 is here. I'm going to go across, meet my line and come back down with a ruler. That doesn't look straight, but you all know it is. And I say it's about 46. And you could write that out nicely. And you can also see that there's your 5-number summary. So once you've been able to find out how to do it on a cumulative frequency, polygon, and a histogram, and also just by looking at 5-number summaries, we also need to be able to do it from our lovely stem and leaf plot. I don't know why I said 5-number summaries, but from normal data. So let's have a look at what this is going to look like. So I've got my stem and leaf plot here, and it says 25 people, but if you have a look carefully, there's only 22. Don't know what I was talking about. So what we should look at is we need to know what the upper score is. So what is the upper score, or the highest score, or whatever you'd like to call it. So in this case it's 55, upper extreme I should say, lower extreme. And if we were going to say what the lowest score was, what is it going to be? In this case it is 18. So once we've done that, what we need to do is we need to find our median. So we all know how to find our median. We have to count in. So let's count. Remember, we're going from the inside out and then from the outside in. So from the inside out, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From the outside in, let's go in 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we've got 9, 9, 10 and 10. So you can see that we have two middles here. So my Q2 is going to be made up of 33 and 35 divided by 2. So 33 and 35 divided by 2 is 34. Okay, so there is my Q2. So the next thing I need to find is I need to find, well, my Q1. So what I like to do, girls, is remember that was halfway. So I'm going to put a little line there for halfway. And then I'm going to choose another colour. Let me go and find another. I like my purple, as you know, so let's use purple. So, and that didn't work, so we're going to have red. So we need to find the middle. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's count down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5 and 5. And so we can see Q1 is 27. So that was nice and easy. And then looking at my other sets of scores, well, let's count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll count from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we go. We can see now that Q3 was 40. And that's how easy it is. A nice summary. Now, the biggest reason that we use these 5-number summaries are for our things like our box and whisker plots, or being able to draw what we call a box and whisker plot. So a box and whisker plot simply consists of my 5-number summary. My lowest score, my lower extreme, my upper extreme, my lower quartile, which is my Q1, my median, which is my Q2, and my upper quartile, which is my Q3. So those 5 things go into making a box and whisker plot. The other thing I want you to keep in mind, because when you have to answer questions about this, everyone seems to get it wrong. So I just want you to think about, between your lowest score and your upper score is 25% of the scores lie there, because that's the first quarter. Between your lower quarter and your median is 25% of the scores. Between your median and upper quartile is another 25%. And then between your upper quartile and your upper extreme is another 25% of your scores. So that means that in between here, 50% of the scores lie. And interestingly enough, this here is your interquartile range, because it's Q3 minus Q1. So this big box is really showing you your interquartile range, and that's where 50% of the scores lie. And the other thing you need to know here is that box and whisker plots are always drawn to scale. So you will need a ruler, you will need to draw a scale, and then if you do all that, you're going to have no problem. So here is an example of a box and whisker plot, and it says here, state the median. Well, here is the median here. It's always drawn, it's drawn on there in this case for us. It's nice and simple. The median, which we know is Q2, and that looks like it's around about 71. Find the interquartile range. Well, this box, remember, is the interquartile range. So if we think about the, let's write that down, interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. So in this case, Q3 looks like it's around about 78, and Q1 looks like it's around about, say, 62. So if we do that, we get 16. What was the highest mark in the class? Well, here's my highest mark. That looks like it's around about 92. Between which two marks do the middle 50% of the scores lie? Well, we've answered that already in B. So they lie between 78 and 62. You see? This is where 50% of the scores lie. And that's how fast it is. So, the last question is just being able to put all the information together. Here is some information already given to us. Lowest score, upper quartile, median, upper quartile, highest score. Show this information in a box and whisker plot. So what I want you to think about doing when you do draw this is using a ruler, and clearly I can't use it, and putting a scale on it, making it nice and interesting. So make it every centimetre. Yours will look so much nicer than mine. 86 and so on. So here's a good thing about computers and technology. The numbers have suddenly appeared and we can draw it. So what we're looking for is we're looking for the lowest score. So in this case the lowest score is 82. So we can put a dot there. The upper quartile is 84, so we drew a straight line there. The median is 89, so we draw a straight line there. The upper quartile is 95, so we draw a straight line there. We join them up because there's your box. Highest score is 114, which I would probably say to you girls is an outlier looking at this. We join them up and you have your box and whisker plot. And that's all there is to it. You've got some work here to do and I'm pretty sure you're going to have no trouble with it. If you do, you know where I am.